As a highly sensitive person, I often find it hard to restore the connection between my mind and my body, especially in the time of utter distress and psychological discomfort. Overwhelmed with upsetting emotions and anxiety, people with high sensitivity tend to have such physiological reactions as pressure headaches, neurological conditions, drastic changes in blood pressure or panic attacks, etc. And of course, I'm not a doctor, and if you are experiencing any of these, you should absolutely seek medical advice. But with my extended HSP experience, I figured out some ways that help me restore that very connection and feel more grounded in my body, and thus reduce the occurrence of those conditions. After all, we are material creatures, and it's so important to find a safe home inside our bodies, and especially now, it's absolutely vital. Hey my friends, if you're new here, I'm Anastasia, and this channel is about everything that is mindful, minimalist and creative. I'm in a new place again, but I'm still yet in Russia, and I hope that in the next video I will make a short life update for you, so please just stay tuned. But today I wanted to share with you some of the simple and easy things that we can do to stay more grounded and present in our bodies. If you are a highly sensitive person like me, you might have experienced that certain mind-body disconnection that can seriously undermine our health, both physical and mental. And for making this video, I've analyzed some of my habits, and I figured out that instinctively on a daily basis I do certain actions that keep me more present physically. Sitting on the floor and other surfaces as if it was floor, yeah, like me sitting on this couch. So I never thought that it was a thing, because I've been sitting like this for all my life, and I always hated placing myself properly on a chair with my feet on the ground. My body always fights this position. But recently YouTube suggested me watching a video about sitting on the floor, and that video had an aha effect on me. I will leave the link to this video in the description section. So it perfectly describes all the benefits and physiology of sitting on the floor, but in a nutshell, it's a natural sitting positions for humans. It strengthens and stretches our body, and I also noticed that it helps me feel more gathered in space when my feet are on the same level as my lower part. Interestingly, when I was in high school, sitting on the floor was considered an act of rebel against the conformist world of adults. And I was among those non-conformist teens who would avoid benches and chairs whenever we could. Apart from feeling more connected with our body, sitting on the floor also makes us more aware of the environment, because we can feel the steps of other people, how they walk, etc. And I remember an interesting situation that happened to me 10 years ago when I was waiting for my flight in a Moscow airport. I was sitting on the floor, and back then it was still allowed. Now it is prohibited, I guess, or maybe they allowed it again, I have no idea. So I was sitting on the floor, and suddenly a random guy sat next to me and asked me, "Have you ever tried guessing a person's character by the way they walk?" I said, "No." And then the guy began to describe characters and walks of the passers-by that were around us. So I don't remember guy's name. I just remember that he said he was a tap dancer, like a professional tap dancer, and apparently he was a keen observer and philosopher. So it was just yet another piece of knowledge and a confirmation of how complex we humans are, and it's so important to recognize our complexity, because it's the only way for us to feel whole and to regain that integrity of our being. Walking barefoot with your shoes and socks off. I guess this one is the most well-known and popular thing to do, and of course it's the best to practice this in nature, but as a city person living in a colder climate, I realized that there might be some difficulties in doing that. That's why I do my best and I try to be barefoot at home whenever I can, whenever it's warm enough. And there's something so magical about feeling different textures under your feet, and different people prefer different textures. It can be sand, moss, grass, soil, asphalt, pebbles, big flat rocks, just anything, like fallen leaves. For example, I love feeling rough textiles and warm soil during summertime, and my husband is a sand person, so please feel free to share what your feet like, so it will be cool to share. There are more nerve endings in our feet than in our entire body, so just imagine what perfect receivers of sensations and stimuli our feet are. And also in Eastern practice, there is such a thing as nail board standing. I don't know whether you heard of it or just saw it, and I tried it once, well, and I failed. I have a low pain threshold, which means that even the slightest pain, like physical pain, causes considerable discomfort for me, and I've been very embarrassed about this fact, because I got a lot of judgment, like people saying that I'm overreacting, etc. So that's why I've learned how to kind of keep it in secret and to hide my emotions. But then pretty recently I read that it's quite a natural thing for many people in the world, especially for females. So I will leave a link to a very interesting article, scientific article regarding this fact. So, but let's get back to our feet, to my feet, and how I failed standing on the nails. So it is claimed that this sort of practice has magical effect on the well-being of a person. So, but it was a torture for me. I couldn't do that absolutely because of my low pain threshold. But my cousin managed to do 15 minutes of nail standing, and she said that it had such an amazing effect on her. She felt relaxation and even euphoria. So I just thought it was really fascinating. They say that pain threshold can change throughout our life, so maybe, hopefully, I will become more tolerant sometime later. But for now, I'm just trying to feel as much as I can with my feet, with my nerve endings on the feet, and thus connect with the physical world on a more profound level. I've tried many meditation practices and can say for sure that there is no one single practice that fits everyone. It takes some time, sometimes a lot of time, to find what really works for you, because we are all different, we are all unique. And that said, I figured out that for me, the best way to meditate is to do it in the quietest way possible. I don't listen to anything, I don't repeat anything in my mind, I don't focus or envision anything. So I just sit with my eyes open and with unfocused gaze, and that's it. And this thing works wonders for me. Even 5 minutes of this quiet stillness brings me back to my body and my physical sensations. So please share your own practices, and I will be so interested to know and maybe try something new, because I don't think I stopped like experimenting, because it's a great way to expand our limits. So, and I don't believe that any of us humans should be limited by anything in this world, right? So we have endless opportunities. Maybe a lot of them are unknown yet for us. Some years ago, I got interested in the works of Carlos Castaneda, and in one of his books, he describes a techniques for having control over one's dreams and also of waking up in a dream. And this technique is looking at hands. The writer said that it helped gain more awareness and utter clarity. And I thought, what if I try to use this technique for being more aware in reality? And on a philosophical note, how do we know that our reality is not a dream, or a dream within a dream? I remember how mind blown I was when I heard an English nursery song, Row, Row, Row Your Boat, which had the lines, and still has, of course, life is but a dream. I thought it was absolutely fascinating. Yeah, I'm amazed by the concept of dreaming and dreams in a whole, and maybe one day I will make a separate video about that in case you're interested. But looking at hands and studying them, I don't know, like really seeing them helps me get back to my senses amidst utter anxiety and stress. And I also often practice kind of feeling the heartbeat with the tips of my fingers, just pressing them against one another like this, and just feeling it with the skin, catching that heartbeat sensation. So maybe it's a silly thing to do, but this is what helps me. High sensitivity is like the wind that disturbs and shakes the atmosphere and takes things away from their places, and it's so important to bring them back to order. Of course, any type of physical activity is the best for reconnecting with our own body, but I find that stretching works wonders for me, be it yoga or anything else, it doesn't matter. I'm not a physically strong person, and again, it took me a while to accept this fact. I used to go to the gym a lot, even had a personal coach for some time. I ate a lot of protein, was super healthy, but I didn't gain much muscles. So this is the type of my body, I guess. And these days I just find it that working with my body weight and flexibility is the best to regain that connection. and feel that I'm a host in my body, not a guest. And of course, everything is different for everyone, and it just takes time to understand who you actually are and what you are. Stretching helps me release stiffness, and also sometimes it helps prevent migraines that often start with tension in the neck. And my favorite pose to release tension is butterfly fold. Of course, there are so many other ways to reconnect with our body, such as cleaning and washing by hand, cooking, gardening, Tai Chi and other practices, and even eating or avoiding certain foods. So please share in the comments what you do, instinctively or not, in order to stay present physically. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. Stay safe and keep your heart open, and I hope to see you soon. Пока-пока.